What's going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, I'm joined by my clients for Podchats. This is a coaching call we do once a week where my clients come up and ask me questions. Without further ado, let's get into it. Tell me a win and then ask your question. Ronnie Travis, what's up?
Okay, so my win is that I've been fucking reading the Master Key System, and I also listened to one of your super old podcasts, and I just kind of like had a huge reality check and realized that it really is. I know you say it all the time, but like it's your internal world, right? And like I feel like I've been working so hard and working against myself in my head. And yesterday I just was like, what if for the rest of the month of March I just focused on my internal world and just fucking felt like a fucking winner, showed up like a winner, did all that shit every single day. Anyways, yesterday I got 3 inbound leads, all of them booked a call, and it's like after a really slow month of like the previous 2 weeks having no calls at all, it feels really good. So yeah, it's working. And it's so funny. Like in the podcast you talked about, it was like, I think the podcast was titled like, do you think you're a loser or something like that? Like, do you see yourself as a loser? And, you talk about having a winner's mindset and how like, random people will come up to you and compliment you and this and that. And like, you're just magnetic as fuck. And it's like, it's so true. Like, I was in the grocery store and some chick literally came up to me and was like, oh my God, your hair is so cute. You're so pretty. And it's like, I feel like I'm like understanding how your brain works a little bit more and how you like are the way you are. So it's super fucking cool. But yeah, so anyways, leads are coming in, things are working again. And yeah, honestly, the bigger win is that I didn't let myself go into like a spiral when it wasn't working, because I tend to hide when it's not working, but I've just been showing up. So yeah, honestly, that's it. I just want to say thanks for the book recommendation. I fucking love it. Any tips on best, like obviously some of it is like a little much to like get through. But any tips on reading it for the first time?
Yeah, I reread the same chapter every day and I try to highlight shit. I've also read the book like 12 times at this point. So it's funny because like I literally have the same book. It's like crusty because I've taken it on trips and stuff. So like some of the pages are like warped and stuff. But it's funny because some of the stuff that I highlighted the first time that I went through it, I didn't even pay attention to the second time just because something different resonated. So try to pick apart little pieces because there's a lot of information to digest in that book. So like grab one line that really resonates and just focus on that for the day. And that's what I try to do. Is I'm looking for different pieces, different elements.
I like that. Awesome. Okay. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much.
I love to see your success. I love to see you happy. Congratulations.
I'm proud of you. I appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you. I love that. That's fun. Marilyn, what's up?
Hi, Brian. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good. Thank you. One win. Oh, actually, remember how I did that couples challenge and I totally didn't sign nobody that was from that challenge?
Yep.
Well, actually, one of those couples came back and they were like, hey, we want to work with you. So I signed both of them. So that was great. And so I do have a quick question for you regarding DMs. So I've been able to book about 3 calls a week from DMs. Yesterday I had kind of like a mind block and I went to Janelle on the call and she recommended I kind of just went and asked, hey, like if basically like go for the call. And I did, and I was able to book that call. Now I feel like sometimes I can get stuck in my head of like, what should I say next? Should I ask more questions? Should I am I too salesy kind of thing? But I kind of want to give you like perspective of how I'm thinking in my head. Because for example, like I just think about how I can connect and how I can be myself in the DM. But sometimes I find like I get confused and I don't know what to say. But then my gut is telling me to do something. When I do that one thing, even if it's not us, it is on the script. Like I usually book the call. So what would be your recommendation when I feel like I'm blocked, or maybe my mind is just blocked from what I should be doing versus what my gut is telling me to do?
It's like the DMs, having a structure for your DMs. Like you need to understand what the purpose of your DMs are, like what you're trying to do in the DMs. So in the DMs, when you're messaging prospects back and forth, you're trying to get a clear problem. Like you need to identify a problem, how long they've been struggling with that problem, right? What their goal is and why it's important to them, and then specific results in the next 90 days of their goal. Those are the things that I look for in the DMs. Once I identify those things, any extra questions, in my opinion, are irrelevant. If you wanted to ask extra questions to build a connection, you could. But like once you're in the actual DM script, you need to have a clearly defined problem, how long they've been struggling with it, a goal and a reason why, and specific results that they're looking for. Once you have those things, at that point, you just need to ask if they'd like some help. Would you like some help? Most people are like, yeah, maybe. What would that look like? And then you're like, I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Blah, 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 blah. So if you understand what you're looking for, it makes it easier to go through the DM script because, and this is something that you can do. Like you're more advanced now, Marilyn. Like you're in the 10K mastermind. So like you kind of get it. So you can have those like those things that you're looking for in the DMs, like a problem, how long they've been struggling, what their goal is, and the reason why, and specific results they're looking for. It's not like those things have to go in order. Like you can have a conversation with them, and once you're like, okay, their problem is that they have no idea what to eat, and their struggle is that they've been doing this for 3 years and they haven't found any success. And their goal and the reason why is they're a mom of 4 and they want to lose weight for their kids. And the specific results they're looking for is to tone up and lose 10 pounds. Once you have those things, at that point, you can book a call. But sometimes you're like bouncing around in the conversation to find those things. So I like to think about it as like the script is designed as a structure to get you those things that people are looking for, but you don't have to follow the script verbatim as long as you get to the root of what you actually need from the conversation. And that's all of sales. Like all of sales, you need a clear problem, you need a reason why, you need a goal, which creates a gap, and then you offer some help. Like that's sales across the board. It applies to DMs, it applies to calls, etc. So as long as you know what you're looking for, you can navigate your way through the DMs as long as you're getting those 4 things.
And usually that's how it goes. Like if I know what they want, then and I ask for the call, it usually happens because it's been clear, you know?
Yep.
Okay, now same question with the DMs. I've been doing a lot of polls, like just to kind of get engagement people, and just like not fitness related, but like for example, like yesterday I did one like just like documenting my life, like I had a lot of dishes in on my sink because I've been busy and like that's not my priority. Obviously, I'll get to it, but I kind of just wrote about the like like dishes can be there and they will be there, but my health and my kids won't. So prioritizing that is what matters to me, and I just feel like we can relate the like the voting on there. And so like I got a lot of engagement on that. It wasn't fitness related really, but like now those people that they engage in, I kind of just send them a message. It was like the ones that said that they agree was like, right, can you totally agree? And then just kind of like going back to seeing their page and be like, oh, you have a new baby, like how is it going? Like, how's motherhood going type of thing. Is that like I don't want to say that's okay, but like I feel like that's a way for me to also kind of build connections with my followers. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, and like if you're going to do that, you're not going for the sale. You just want to build relationships because those people will organically come to your page and engage with your fitness stuff. And like you don't always want to lead gen every single person that engages with your stuff and try to sell them something because then everyone will stop engaging. So when you're doing polls that are like, lifestyle related, you can definitely send a message to build a connection. But the intention is just to build a connection so that they're getting used to engaging on your stuff. Then when you put up what do you need the most help with, fitness or nutrition, like they're more likely to vote on that poll and then they'll be more likely to respond because they know that you're friendly and cooperative. You know what I mean?
Totally. Okay. Yeah. Got it. All right. Thank you so much. That was it for today.
You're welcome. I hope you have the best day of your life.
You too.
Lot, what's up?
I'm fine, thank you. Good. I have 3 new clients and my first renewal, so I'm happy.
Nice.
And I've got a question about, is there a good strategy between the reoccurring and the PIFs? I have the feeling that there's a strategy, what's best, but I don't know it.
So my rule of thumb for the 10K mastermind and for all of you guys is like, you should identify what your base monthly expenses are, like including rent, car insurance, gas, cell phone bill, any programs you're in, fucking your groceries, any extra living expenses you like to have. Figure out what that number is. Your recurring should cover that number. Unless your recurring covers that number, every month you're going to be stressed out about money. But if your base living expenses are $8,000 a month, you get your recurring to $8,000 a month. It doesn't matter if you sign a client or not, you're still going to be able to pay your bills. And that is the place that I prefer to be. So figure out what all of your base monthly expenses are and make sure that your recurring income can cover that number. And if you're not there yet, then work your way towards that.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's it. Cool. Have the best day of your entire life. Thanks for coming up.
You too.
Bye, Lot. Zane, what up, King?
What's going on, man?
Got the beard shave. This guy's looking clean.
Yeah. And I was actually trying it for the content. It seems to be doing well too. Maybe I look a little friendlier. I don't know.
I love it.
Appreciate it. So yeah, my win is content related and Instagram related. So I'm about to hit, I think, 2,600 followers, which is a huge drastic difference from, even the beginning of this year. So that kind of leads me to my question too. Would I be shooting myself in the foot, I guess, because I feel like I was niched down, before. My avatar is, busy moms. Biggest struggle is time. So I've been doing a lot of easy, like simple, quick crock pot recipes and meals. So would it be too niche if I double down on solving a specific issue for, a specific person. I know you have, specific person, specific issue, but if I, put that messaging within my content, because it seems to be doing really well, but would that be too niche down?
Well, so give me, like, who are you trying to speak to exactly?
So basically to the busy mom who is struggling with coming up with like family friendly recipes. And well, I guess like in the DMs too, part of it is a lot of times I'm asking people, do you like the recipes or nutrition or fitness? And I'm getting a lot of nutrition. So I guess I'm trying to solve that specific problem, within the nutrition aspect for that specific person, if that makes sense.
So I'm not opposed to that at all. I still do believe that you need to have some like fitness related content on your page. Otherwise, you'll just be known as just the nutrition guy.
Yeah.
When you're just the nutrition guy, it makes it hard to sell a training and nutrition program. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
But I also think that like leaning into what works is very fucking important, in my opinion. So if you're noticing that that's working on your page and like that content performs well for you, then I would lean into it with like 60 to 70% of your stuff. And like an example that I want you to follow, bro, is my client, Brett Carrington. He's in the Million Dollar Mastermind. He's making about $30,000 a month. His nutrition content crushes. And I had the same conversation with him. I'm like, you need to not just be the nutrition guy. So there still needs to be some workout content on his page. And you notice how there's not a lot of workout content on his page. And he almost does like funny workout content, but he still does workout content because they need to see you in the gym as well. So, or
Perfect.
like they need to see the all sides of the fitness aspect. So yes, you can lean into nutrition content, but also make sure that you include some fitness stuff in there as well. So don't just be the nutrition guy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I was I guess where I have my mind. I've been doing also kind of like little 15-second Netflix binge and burn, while your kids watch Netflix, whatever workouts. And those seem to be doing well too. So I guess I'll just make that like a pillar, I suppose.
Yeah. There's another one you could do. Another guy I want you to follow. Oh, he's actually in this fucking program. Healthy. Hey, Nick, I'm going to talk about you, bro. Nick does really good home workout stuff. So check out Nick's page for some of the home workout stuff. His stuff crushes. I love that you're still using this hook, Nick. If your ass disappears every time you turn sideways. Good shit. Every time it works. That's funny. So yeah, I'll drop his handle in the fucking chat box for you.
Perfect.
Nick is doing well with content.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, that sounds good then. I appreciate that.
Bang, bang. Bet. See you soon, King.
Yes, sir. See you soon.
Jackie, what up?
Hello, how are you?
I'm having an amazing day. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. So my win is I'm traveling right now, and I've been able to stay on track with all of the things. I'm walking right now, so I'm a little out of breath. So that's exciting, and I've even had like some calls booked while I'm here too, even though that hasn't really been my focus. So that's my win. My question is, so I'm in Texas, and there's some really cool gyms here to make content. So I'm curious on like suggestions for B-roll in terms of like not non-talking stuff, just B-roll that you can do like use for 6 seconds, like in the gym. Like, do you have any suggestions on what to film?
I don't off the top of my head, but if I wanted to figure it out, I'll tell you exactly what I would do. Like if I was going to the gym and I wanted to film content, I would literally, I would cheat and I would go use AI or ChatGPT, and I would ask ChatGPT, give me 20 different B-roll shots that I could grab in the gym. So like, I would just be like, I would just go like this. I would just say, I am online fitness coach who is filming 6-second reels that I can use to go viral. I want to film some content in the gym. Please give me 20 different B-roll shots I can get for my content. And then I would just fucking go through this list and I go.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's what I would do right here. So I'm just going to show a bunch of different B-roll shots that you can get at the gym.
Perfect. Wonderful. Can I ask one more simple question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to be meeting some of my clients in person while I'm here, and I've seen you do in-person testimonials. What is the structure, like the 3 questions that you ask them? I mean, I know what you asked, but like, how do we make it fitness?
First question you want to ask is, how much weight have you lost in the coaching program?
Okay.
How much weight have you lost in the coaching program? And then what were your struggles when you first signed up would be question number 2.
Okay.
And then question number 3 is, would you recommend this coaching program? Or like, actually question number 3, I would say is, what advice would you give to other people that are in my audience right now that want to get the same results that you have? Because oftentimes when you ask that question, your clients are going to be like, you got to sign up with Jackie, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, perfect. That's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Have the best day of your life.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Zach, what's up, brother?
Hey, mate. How are you?
I'm doing fucking great. How are you, brother?
Awesome. So pumped to be here. A win is I got 2,000 followers this week. And that's after a year of trying to get past 150 followers last year. So last couple of months have been crazy. So that's awesome.
What do you think was, what's your Instagram? I want to take a look.
Zach.matt. I'll type it in the chat. Zach.matt.
Got it. Gotcha.
_coach.
That's fucking cool, bro. What do you think was some of the changes that helped you break through the algorithm?
Mate, just talking to the camera, the scene changes, obviously, cutting down all the smart words, I guess.
Cool.
I did a lot of just, generic stuff. So I feel like I'm giving a lot of value now.
Hell yeah, brother. Congratulations. That's fucking dope. I'm looking through your page. That's awesome. Congratulations, bro.
Thanks, mate. So my question actually is related to a video that I did that went not viral. It's got nearly 14,000 views or something, but I've got nearly 170 followers from it. So it brought in a lot of female followers, and the video I thought would go off more for men because it was like, it's like a fast food burger that, a burger to get 70 grams of protein, but I got a lot of female followers. So I want to know how I can make those sort of videos to target my avatar. And I also want to know whether I should do a CTA to those women that have started following me. Because I do have probably, to be honest, probably a 50-50 in my followers of female and men. Obviously, I'm looking for men mostly for my clients.
Yeah. So the thing with recipe content and nutrition content is, typically speaking, it's going to attract more of a female audience. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but we also, Trent Harrison's in my Millionaire Mastermind program, it was the same thing. He was only working with men, and then his content started popping off, and his content was nutrition content, and all the followers that were coming in were female. Same thing with Brandon Johnson. He was in his program, content started popping off, and a lot of the people that were coming in were females. So I would just be open to the idea of working with women, because sometimes we choose an avatar and an avatar chooses us. And if that content is consistently going viral and bringing you in new eyeballs, I would just be open to the idea of working with women. That being said, on the flip side of that, yes, I do think doing a CTA for women is a really good idea. And it's just like a feeler. You could just put out a feeler for your audience. And if 30 people engage, you book 10 calls, you sell 5 new clients. I'm not opposed to that at all.
Okay. All right. So just do what I'm doing with that sort of content. Don't change it and just keep recreating. And
yeah, because when you find a content style that goes viral, that's Instagram telling you this is what your audience wants to see. So I continue to put out that style of content because I want to be in because the more that you're in the algorithm, the more money you're going to make.
Okay. So I make obviously a lot of my stuff is in the gym, and I find that stuff doesn't do anywhere near as well as the stuff in grocery stores. So would you keep doing that gym stuff? Because that's the stuff I kind of enjoy, but I feel like it doesn't do as well.
Yes. And I would try to make it more entertaining. So it's not that gym stuff doesn't work. It's just how you're doing it doesn't work. So for me, it's if I think about my talking videos were the ones that were going the most consistently viral on my page. But then the talking videos by themselves aren't doing as well. So I'm trying to find different ways to do the talking videos. So getting Kirsten involved with the talking videos is one way to get, change it up a little bit. Getting her to do role plays in the talking videos is one way to change it up a bit. So it's not like I'm taking out the content style, but I'm trying a new way of doing the content style. This is a new way of doing content style because the talking videos do well, but I want to find a different way to do the talking videos. So it's not that you don't want to do the content style. It's that the way that you're doing it isn't entertaining the audience. That's why it's not going viral. So you need to find a different way to deliver this information. Sometimes it's more.
Stop being boring.
Yes, exactly. Stop being boring. Sometimes it's more enthusiasm. Sometimes it's adding props. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's adding a character, but find a different way to deliver the same information. Don't stop doing the content style itself, especially if you enjoy doing it.
Okay. So easy. That's my question. Thank you.
Cool, brother. Hope you have the best day of your entire life. Congratulations on the growth. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, mate.
Peace. Dan Lamb, this guy. Dan Lamb.
Ryan, what's going on?
Whoa, bro. This growth is crazy.
Yeah, I'm that's what I was going to bring up. So I'm at 19.2K in terms of followers on Instagram now. And over the past 2 weeks, I've signed 7 clients. So 7 out of 7 on calls. So that leads to my question is I'm seeing all this growth, but just to be frank, I feel like I'm kind of drowning a little bit. Like I'm not
Mhm.
sure what to do to kind of free up my time or optimize it. Especially because I'm running the 4-day challenge as well right now. So just finished
How
day
many, how
one
many,
yesterday.
how many clients do you have right now?
27.
27. Okay, cool. Are you running your life off of Google Calendar right now?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your monthly income at right now?
So it was fluctuating because I was building up recurring after I think you or Janelle told me to.
Yep.
So it's kind of fluctuating, but right now I'm at 5.5K.
5.5K recurring or income?
That's income. So that's a mix of recurring and also PIFs.
Okay, cool. So you need to get really good at time blocking at the level that you're at right now, because you're not at the level where you need to start hiring team members yet, because I would want you between $10,000 and $15,000 a month before you start hiring team members. But you need to get really good at optimizing your time and figuring out what's income generating and what's not. You also, like, when I was at your level, Dan, every day for the first 6 hours was the exact same in terms of like my workflow. So it would be like structuring your day so that you're doing content every morning for an hour, you're doing lead gen every morning for an hour, you're delivering to your clients every day for an hour, and then whatever other self-care things that you do every day. But like, you need to have day-to-day rituals, and your like first few hours of the day should look the exact same every day. And then obviously throughout the day, there's going to be different days of the week. Like some days you do your check-ins, some days you do your meal plans, blah, blah, blah. But like, you need to get really good at time blocking, and you need to get really good at like setting a timer for a certain task. As soon as that timer's done, you move on to the next task. Because like the good news about where you're at right now is like you're at a place where like your business is on a really, really good trajectory, especially if you keep closing it the way that you've been closing. But in order to maximize the level that you're currently at, you need to optimize your time. That it has to be a thing. And so optimizing your time is living by Google Calendar, taking out any projects that aren't completely necessary, and then building a system around your time so that you're doing the same thing every day. Because it's like the boring, repetitive tasks that are the ones that build the business. So once this 4-day challenge is done, instead of doing any more challenges for the next, few weeks, I would just get really good at maximizing and optimizing your time. I would take out any projects in your calendar that aren't directly going to increase income. And I would just focus on building the business to 30 to 40 clients at that point. Like, then we can start talking about like $1 million mastermind, hiring a team, because like with the way that you're going, you're on that trajectory. Like, you're going to be there very fast.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro. Time blocking. That's it. Talk soon, big dog. Peace. Sammy, what's up?
Hey Brian, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely incredible. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So wins are my 4-day challenge has like absolutely gone amazing. I have like 62 people in it, which went wild. And like I did send out a lot of DMs, but like really not that much in comparison to a lot of inbound people just signing up through my stories, which was really cool.
Cool.
And I've booked 5 calls from it so far, and I'm up 3 clients this month so far. So like compared to February, March is doing really well. I'm super stoked.
Nice.
My question is, it's a follow-up from what Cole was talking about in his lesson on Monday. And it was like about being a business owner, not being so personal, like, and just, not taking everything so personal. And it's definitely something that I really, really, really struggle with, is like drawing that line between being personable, being the friend, being the coach, and being a business owner, especially if just like in all aspects of things, from payments to like drawing the line and whatnot. And I'm just like, how do you draw that line? Like, I don't know. I guess it's my personality as well. Like, I'm probably just a very over friendly person, but I'm like, how do you draw that line with the business without it like blowing up your business, but feeling confident and not being like too savage, but like, yeah. So words of wisdom, your turn.
Question in regards to this, like, what specifically do you feel like you can't draw the line with?
Well, one, in the DMs, I feel like people don't see me as an authority. That's like one. Like, I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, it's been so nice to chat with you. And I'm like, I'm literally going through like the script. And I'm like, I'm not being a friend. I'm trying to, but I feel like that happens a fair bit. And then other one is like, just sometimes with my clients, they might be like, I want to do this, this, and this. And then I just have to be like, well, no, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. Like, I try and come back, and so that happens sometimes. I'm just concerned that sometimes they're like, oh, you're such a great friend. And I'm like, don't want to push that line too hard. And then like with payments or overdue, I feel like some people feel like they can be quite lax with it and let a couple of weeks roll by. And I'm like, and I feel really uncomfortable being like, can you do the payment? Like, yeah, they're 3 things I think of.
So DMs, it's really simple. Just ask the question, would you like some help with this stuff?
Yeah.
I think that I think you're overthinking that. So like, would you like some help with this stuff? With client changes to programs, I want you to write this down. This is your focus. Get comfortable saying no.
Yeah.
No. They're like, what? Like, no. Like when you guys like ask me, you're like, I want to hire a VA. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't. Because you got to find them, hire them, train them, integrate them. You guys have no idea what you're doing at this level. And it would be confusing for me to teach to you guys. So the answer is no. It's just like, you just have to get comfortable saying no. Like no is a complete sentence. And is everybody going to be happy with the word no? 100% not. Some people are going to be pissed. But like the amount of people that are pissed versus the amount of people that are happy is like a 1 in 20. So that's the second thing. Third thing, with payments, it's like, you just need to define, like, do you want to be a doormat to your clients? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah.
So
like don't let yourself be a doormat. So like 1 late installment, totally cool. If you could take care of it tomorrow, that'd be great. Smiley face. And then the next day goes by. Just wanted to check in and make sure you got the installment, smiley face. And then the third day, hello, question mark. And the fourth day, you suspend their trainerize account.
Okay. I do have that, but I've been doing it at the 4-week mark, not the 4-day mark.
4 day. And they're like, what? And I'm like, what? You don't pay your fucking rent for 4 days. Your landlord's going to be like, knock, 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 motherfucker. Where's my shit?
Yeah, true.
And it's like, that's life. That's life. I also think that like, you don't view yourself as an authority, and that's the problem. Like if you viewed yourself as an authority, it would be very easy for you to say no. Like I view myself as an authority. So if I don't think that's a good move for you, I'm going to tell you no directly to your face. If you didn't view yourself as an authority, it would be like when somebody had something that, was going wrong, you would have a really hard time drawing a line because you're like, So like, how do you start viewing yourself as an authority? You change the perspective. You change the words that you're saying to yourself. I'm a fucking authority. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. It's the same affirmations. Like I'm the motherfucking one.
Yeah.
I'm the boss. I remember I went to speak at Bradley's event. Love Bradley. He's amazing. And like, that was really intimidating for me because Bradley has like 1.3 million followers. And at the time I had like 100,000 followers. And he's like, can you come speak about social media branding? And I was like, at the event where you have 1.3 million followers and you're the host? Sure. I'm sure they're going to be really happy to hear from me. But I was like, before I went on stage, I literally was like saying to myself in my head out loud, and it was like my affirmation. I'm like, they came for Brad Lee, they're falling in love with me. Came for Brad Lee, falling in love with me. Came for Brad Lee, falling in love with me. You just got to change the perspective. You got to change the conversation that's happening in your head.
Okay.
So the next time something happens where like you feel like you need to be a boss, it's just boss up. I am the authority. I am the authorita.
I feel like I'm really good at doing it in very, very certain circumstances, but just not in general.
In general. So like write down a quote that says I'm a boss. Get a fucking shirt that says I'm a boss. Get a coffee cup that says I'm a boss. And it's like start reminding yourself of it every day.
Yeah. I can definitely work on that 100%.
I just want to follow up with that to this conversation. Like unless you develop these skills now, you will stay stuck at this level. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because when you have people that work for you at your company and they show up late, 20 minutes late to a meeting, if you don't develop the skills to be like, hey, that's not what we do here. I expect you to show up on time. And if you don't show up on time next time, it's going to be a verbal warning. This is a verbal warning. Next time will be written and the third time will be tolerated. So don't show up late again.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to have those, like you've got to have the ability to have those conversations.
Yeah. And it's funny that like really vibes with me. Like I do, like that feels good to me. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. But like, I don't. So I think there's like a disconnect between like my internal and my external. There's a disconnect.
It's just like the difference between like if somebody can practice well and play well. Like the only way that you're going to get good at playing is just by like repetitions. You just got to practice. So like every single time you need to be an authority, just view it as like a practice rep.
Yeah, that's a vibe. Okay, I can definitely work on that. Just sorry, follow-up question is when you do stand in the line with clients, if they're new, for example, like, because obviously my ones who have been with me forever, they have all their faith and trust in me. They know that they're going to get amazing results. So when I hold the line and say no, they know that I'm doing it for the right reasons. But when I'm like no to people who are maybe new and they're still like, oh, I'm like, do I really trust this coach? Like, at that unsure level, do you also still be a little bit of kind? Like, how do you balance that?
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the level of kindness that you give. It's about the level of explanation that you give. Because if I just like, Nick is like, I need a VA. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like he knows me well enough to be like, okay, I'm just going to fucking listen, But if somebody just joins the program and they're like, hey, I just joined, I want to hire a VA. I'm like, no, you don't, because you just joined the program. You have no idea how to post content. You can't send a DM to save your life. And you haven't booked a sales call in the last 4 weeks. So hiring a VA is just going to make the problem worse because you can't even book calls yourself. So you're going to bring somebody in, spend more money on them. They're not going to book calls. You're not going to know why because you don't know how to DM.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like that's how you like with new clients. You need to like basically explain, why it is that we're saying no, so that they understand, so that they're not just like, oh, Sammy sucks. You need to give them an explanation.
Okay, that's a vibe. I can do that because I've got a couple of new clients that I'm like challenging what they want to do, and I'm like it's just finding that line.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. It's definitely a lot of practice. I was talking about it with Janelle a little bit, that I just need to be more like share my internal thoughts a little bit more. Stop being like the world is cakes and cupcakes and rainbows and unicorns, and just be like, sometimes I do have savage thoughts and I get too scared to share them. So I just need to start being a little bit more confident in my.
Your life gets a lot easier when you say what's on your mind, because people won't say stupid stuff to you because they know that you're gonna tell them that it's stupid.
I need to do that because there's so many times that I'll like turn around to John and I'll be like, oh my God, John, this person in the DMs, they're a fucking idiot. They're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was, anyway, scary. And I'm like, I wish I could just tell them this. And he's like, well,
you mind if I coach you for a minute? Bam. They say yes, bam. Eating McDonald's 3 times a week is not a fat loss program. I'm fucking sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, 6 times a week is not optimal for your health.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you wait for them to reply? Like,
yes.
You wait for them to reply. So it could take like a little bit if they're not like super on the DMs and then YouTuber.
Yeah. So mind if I coach you for a minute? And once they say yes, that's essentially what's called setting a frame.
Okay.
Everybody write that down. Set a frame. It's the same thing that we do when we start our sales calls. We set the frame, right? On today's call, what we're going to do is blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Do you agree to that frame? They're like, yes. As soon as they agree to that frame, they've agreed to the frame that you are going to basically be taking them through a sales call. So when you say the words, do you mind if I coach you for a minute? This is like an introduction into being savage. I don't do that. I'm not like, mind if I coach you for a minute? I'm just like, that's fucking stupid. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
An introduction into, but I do that because like I trust that I'm an authority. So does my social media. Like I have 347,000 followers. So when I say something, people are like, yeah, that makes sense. But to get used to that, you say, do you mind if I coach you for a minute? And then when the prospect agrees to that frame, they are agreeing that you are the coach and they are the student. And so you can say what, it gives you permission to basically say whatever's on your mind.
Okay, vibe. I need to introduce that step, definitely.
Cool.
I mean, I'm getting closer to 10K followers, so, give me like a month and I should be there. So then I have a little bit more authority because I have a K on my Instagram.
I'll say this, okay? I'll just say this.
Yeah.
Your authority has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of followers you have on social media. Yeah. It has everything to do with how you feel about yourself. Because I got the limitless speaking engagement. Like I was speaking in front of 9,000 people for introducing Gary Vaynerchuk and David Goggins, because when I had 10,000 followers, I thought I was the literal fucking GOAT.
Yeah.
So that had everything to do with how I felt about myself and nothing to do with the amount of followers I had. So just like, it's about how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. That's definitely a big area of improvement for myself, is like just confidence in myself that I can do externally. Because I think internally I have a little bit of it, but a lot of self-doubt. So yeah, framework.
I love it.
Got it. That was awesome. Thank you for all of that.
You're a boss. I believe in you. Bye-bye. Good question. That was a good question. Good conversation. What's up, Mr. Nicholas?
How are we doing today?
Best day of my entire life. How are you?
I mean, of course it is. So I just wanted to say I think it's my 1-year anniversary of being part of this program. And I want to give you some flowers here. We've had multiple, well, actually 5, I'm counting 5 10K months. And we've grown from 1,000 followers to 116,000 followers. And now I learned actually how to utilize this. I mean, I'm still learning. Actually, I still have no idea. I'm always learning. But I just want to say thank you because really changed the way that I look at business and my page and just the way online. So it's all with your help. Wouldn't have done it without you guys. So which brings me up to the next question. Now that I've been actually implementing, I hate to say this, is like, I feel like I've been always a sponge, right? I just take in the information, all the information, and then I try to implement it, but then I don't implement a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
What areas, now that we're growing, we're seeing these results, what areas should be my main focus?
Mm-hmm. So you're asking like, what should I do next? Which is a subjective question based on your numbers. So just walk me through the numbers really quick. How many clients do you have?
We got 22 clients. We're booking now 3 calls per week, maybe up or down. We're signing, like when we get on the phone with them, they're signing up, which is great because we're not really getting any objections. However, we have a system because we've been doing your training system that we got from one of your coaches about like tracking all the leads. And I feel like that's kind of like my next question is like when you're tracking your leads, how do you play that as like your steps? Do you like, I know I'm kind of all over the place with this because like, I feel like there's so many different new areas that we've gotten to, and I just don't want to spend too much area in one thing and I'm missing something else.
So I don't think that like if you have a basic lead tracking system, that's good enough, bro. Like when I say basic, it's like my definition of basic, like the level that you're at right now, a basic lead tracking system is how many conversations are we starting per day? That's like the level of basic that I go to. If you want my honest opinion, I think the only focus for your business right now is like, let's get you to 40 clients and let's start booking 5 to 6 sales calls a week. Let's double the sales call volume because you have 116,000 followers. There's 116,000 people that are potentially interested in a fitness coaching program. 116,000. Even if 1% of them are interested in your offer, that's 1,100 clients. Even if, I'm just going to do some math for you. All right. Dan Lamb, 7 to 10 calls a week is very doable. Exactly. You should be doubling your call volume, bro. That's the only focus that you should have. Like business is a game of numbers. And the most important numbers that matter, in my opinion, are like, how well is your content performing? Right now, your content's performing really fucking well. So that shouldn't be your main focus. If you get 0.001% of your audience interested in your offer, that's 116 clients. Right now, you have 22. So that to me is the main focus is like, we need to get more clients. How do we get more clients? We book more calls. How do we book more calls? We focus on DMs and our CTA schedule and being in our DMs and making sure that we're consistently booking those calls, making sure that we're putting out 2 to 3 hard CTAs because your audience is growing. Because your audience is growing, you can do more hard CTAs. So doing 2 to 3 hard CTAs per week in your Instagram stories to get interested people from your Instagram stories into your inbox. That's the only focus, in my opinion, is getting more calls in your account.
Yeah, which is kind of funny you say that because that brings me up to my next question is we just did, you know how I've been doing the challenges in the broadcast channel and not doing the Facebook group because I just don't really know how to work Facebook. And I feel like keep the people on the platform. But that's been going really well. Now that we've got these numbers that when they leave them on the type form, how do you essentially play it? Janelle told me yesterday she just straight savagely just text them right there on the spot and say, hey, it's Nick, from the Healthy Yinzer. Is that your approach as well? Like
my approach is, I'll just say their name. Hey, John, is this you? ? And they're always going to reply and they're going to say yes. And then once they reply and they say yes, then you're like, it's Nick from blah, 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 blah. Just got your application for blah, 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 blah. Saw that your number one goal is lose 20 pounds. How long have you been working on that?
And you don't even hit them with a Calendly link, like book a call here. You just straight.
You got to start the conversation first.
They got a couple of numbers floating around, and I was just wondering what is the best way because I threw a couple of Calendly links and I didn't get any replies, and so I'm wondering like, do I just directly just reach out to these people? I mean, they left their number, So
yep.
And what about the people that said no with the number and like because like it's optional message and they say no? Do we warm those people up or do we just kind of leave them to the side?
I don't think that's like for me, if somebody says no to coaching, I'm not going to spend my time, trying to convince them to take action.
Even if they're like always engaging in your shit, taking guides, fucking DMing every keyword that you've ever had, soaking up every live stream, and they just say, no, they're just here for free shit.
That's exactly it. They've made it clear they're just here for free shit. So I'm not going to fucking,
I mean, but then is that evident? But then that brings me up to my last question is, I mean, obviously the content's good and I don't want to change anything like that. You've always told me and you imprinted in my mind that give people content that would, if they go to your page, they would get results without even having to hire you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, I know don't mute me, but is there ever a point where we're just giving too much? Is it too much DMs, too much live streams that people just kind of say, I'm sick of seeing this guy, like, and they just scroll past? Like, is there a limit to being out there?
In terms of, I'm sorry.
Because I did a test in February where I went live every single day, and I feel like towards the end of the month, like the numbers were just plummeting, and the numbers showed it on the analytics. So I'm wondering, like, what's the limit? Like for me, obviously, I saw that that's a limit, but like, have you noticed anything whenever you were growing your coaching program? Like, all right, maybe I should probably step away from this.
Not necessarily. I think that like, for me, it's about finding the live stream schedule or the content schedule that you can stick to and commit to. Like it's pretty easy for me to do 5 live streams a week without considering it. And I'd never look at the numbers. Sometimes I have, 20 people tuning in. Right now I have 50 people tuning in. So like, it's all about finding the schedule that you can stick to. If by the end of the month you were burnt out, you didn't like doing it, then I would probably reduce it. But I don't think that has anything to do with the conversation.
Yeah, I was burnt out. Okay. Stick to my normal schedule. Perfect.
Cool.
DMs. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Book more calls. 5 calls a week. That's your new goal. You got to 3. Now get to 5.
That's it.
Hey, congratulations on your multiple $10,000 months in a row too. I love that. Peace. Johan, what's up, brother?
Yo, Brian, how are you, man?
Best day of my life. How are you?
That's the way. So we sold my first 6 month paid in full to an old client that I helped in the gym like 2 years ago. They reached out and I just like went in for the kill. So that was cool. That's my win. And then, so question is, so I loved your podcast title, Whatever It Takes. Pretty much listened to that like 10 times on repeat. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's like some good energy. Anyways, the very next day, our daughter, she smashed her head and then she cut her forehead, whatever. We had to go to hospital. Ended up being like this 5-hour ordeal. And then by that time, I had to get our son from school, whatever. So my whole day, like I was running with that energy and then the whole day just like pretty much turned to shit, right? So I was just wondering, like in the times when things like that come up, how do you like, I don't know, like keep that work energy or mentality? Because I was at the hospital trying to send DMs and then we were getting home. I was trying to do work and like it was just crazy. And at the end of the day, man, I was just like, oh, what the fuck?
Totally. So like my fundamental philosophy, like the whatever it takes mentality is like, dude, sometimes I'm also like, yes, I have a whatever it takes mentality with my business, but I also have a whatever it takes mentality with my family life. So in times where, and I have seasons, right? So like sometimes a season can be a day. If there's a day where like my pregnant wife needs my attention, then like whatever it takes might mean that I'll cancel all my coaching calls for the day and I'll make sure that my fucking wife is good, but then I'll work on Saturday to make up for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like about like prioritizing what's important for me and like whatever task is in front of me, I'm going to give 100% of my energy to that thing. And like if your kids need, like if like, so don't feel bad that your kids needed you and you were a present dad and you were there. Like that's like, that's a good thing. And then just recognize like, okay, like I wasn't able to be there for my business in this specific aspect. So I'm going to find a way to get up early on a Saturday morning, bang out 4 to 5 hours of work before my kids get up. So then I can spend the day with my kids and get everything that I need done. That's the kind of mentality is like whatever it takes applies to every area, not just business. It's the same thing with fitness, right? Like if I have, just because I'm traveling, like tonight I'm doing like a red eye, I'm going to Nashville. I'm like, just because I'm going to Nashville doesn't mean I'm going to skip out on making sure that you guys get served, or I'm going to make sure that like I go to the gym in the morning. Like I'm doing everything that I need to do to show up to Nashville and then do my speech and blah, blah, blah. So like that's the whatever it takes mentality. It doesn't just apply to one area. It's like, if you're not able to fulfill in one area because something else requires your attention, then put all of your attention in that area and you can just make up for it in a different time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just thanks for that, man. That's huge. It's just so crazy because like being in mining, working 12-hour days, everything was so structured. You just like show up and you like do all this shit, and then like now being home full time, like it's a lot different, right? Like there's, like you said, you know, seasons and days of things. So yeah, you just work around it. All right, man. Thank you. That was huge. Appreciate it.
Congratulations on that 6-month PIF, bro. That's awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Peace. Ragnar, what's up? Ragnar, the Viking King. Where you at? Tell me some wins.
So wins is like, it was mostly just mental. I had a super slow week last week, didn't book a single call for the first time in like, I don't know how long, 2 months or so. And I didn't like slip into scarcity. It didn't even really like phase me. I was like, okay, this is just a cycle. We're not worried about it. Just kept doing the work. And this week we broke it. I've already booked 2 calls, signed a couple clients. So it was just mental. I just stayed focused and didn't get negative at all.
Love it. I love it, brother.
Cool. So I'm obviously really focused on growing and scaling right now, like everybody else in here. And I guess my question is, so like slow weeks like that, I don't have a huge Instagram reach. It's grown. I'm up to like 1,500 now. I was at 300 when I started the program a few months ago. So it's moving in the right direction. My content's gotten a lot better. It's reaching the right people. What would be like I've never done a challenge because I've tried to run a couple of them and I just haven't gotten a lot of hands raised or anything. What would be a good way to just generate leads? Like, I mean, I do the lead magnets and the stories and they don't get a lot of hands raised. The CTAs and reels do okay, but I'm just looking for some ideas like what you would do. You had a slow week and you just wanted to fucking, aside from the normal shit, I mean, I send 50 DMs a day. I do all the basics.
Yep.
You know, what can I do on top of that?
So slow weeks. First thing I do is I'm seeing if there's any clients in my program that are within the next 2 months of renewals, and I'm going to go for a renewal. So like I'll look at my client roster and I'll ask myself, is there anybody that's up for renewal soon? And if there is, I'll start that conversation. I'll ask them how they're doing. And then I'll ask to hop on a call to talk about the progress and I'll run them through the renewal script. So that's the first thing I'll do because I don't want to have a slow week and not make any money. So I'll go for a renewal. Second thing is I try to solve the problem by always having leads coming in. And in the 10K mastermind, the way that you'll always have leads coming in is you always have a boosted post running for like $10 to $20 a day. If you always have a boosted post running for $10 to $20 a day, then go ahead.
I got 2. I got $500 a month. I got 2 running at all times.
Okay, perfect. So if that's handled and that's good, then that's awesome. Third thing I'll do is a 4-day challenge, or, I'll do like a last minute masterclass where I try to get everybody together for like a 60-minute presentation where I do something on fat loss and then I offer a free consult. But I think that for you, if you haven't done a lot of challenges in the past, like it's not that challenges don't work. They work really well. You just need to find, find your flow with them. But 4-day challenges, bro, like
Sure.
are one of the most effective ways to get leads in the front door right away. And the benefit of 4-day challenges is you don't have to wait till after the challenge to sell them. And yes, you will probably still have to do some lead gen for it because you have 1,300 followers, but people are a lot more likely to join your 4-day challenge for free, a stranger, than they are to buy your coaching program. So it's still a really good way to get people in the front door if, they're on the fence or they just followed you, et cetera. So it would be hitting up clients for renewal, be thing number one. Thing number two is making sure I have my boosted post going. And then thing number three is like a 4-day challenge would be the third thing I would do.
Okay. And 4 days is better than a 14-day challenge just for like lead gen type?
Yeah. So at the level that you guys are at right now in the 10K mastermind, you already have a pretty full roster of clients. And so you want to get something where you're able to capture the leads and warm them up faster. And in my opinion, 4-day challenge is the best way to do that. I still think running 14-day challenges at your guys' level makes sense. But if I had to make a schedule for like what I was going to do for promotional purposes, it would be heavier on the 4-day challenges and less on the 14.
Okay, awesome. And then kind of like tied into that. So my wife is taking over like the operational side of the business, and I want to get her started on doing DMs. Should I just have her focus on just opening conversations, just sending out those 40 or 50 DMs in the morning, and then if anybody engages, rather than trying to teach her the script, and that's a little more complicated, but the openers are pretty easy, and since it's just volume based on all the new followers, and then I could just pick up where if anybody jumps in there and starts to engage, because you get a lot of it, don't get read, don't get responded to, don't get opened, whatever.
Yep.
And I'm spending a lot of time doing it right now. It's fine, but I'm just
100%. I would get her to do that at first, and I would also get her to reply to comments on my social media and engage with all my comments on all my platforms.
Okay, cool. Actually, that's a really good idea. All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. This is super helpful.
Peace.
Yep. Later.
Team Z, what up?
Yo, what's up, Brian? Thanks for having me on. How you doing?
Best day of my life, King. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing good. I'm in the lounge, so if it gets a little loud, sorry about that. But dude, wins. This is going to be I'm in my 3rd month now. Already made about 12K with you guys, so it's been super awesome.
Nice.
Grown over 500 followers within the last, 2 months. So everything's been up and up. So big question for me. So I do own a gym. It's a little studio. We mainly focus on like in-person, semi-private. I'm making my way transitioning into online. I'm just finding a way, I guess, how I can nurture those hot leads. I got about like 95 of those clients who I want to switch over. What would be the best approach to kind of start fiddling through that?
So are you training them all yourself?
No, I have 2 part-time, 1 full-time person who just manages it. So I kind of work remotely from the studio right now.
So I would start with the conversations. If you can have conversations with them in person, it would probably make it better. I would have a conversation with them about like how they're enjoying the personal training, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd have a conversation. I'd just be like, out of curiosity, like what made you decide to hire a trainer? And that conversation is going to lead down the road of like, oh, I was having a hard time doing it on my own. And then the conversation can go into like, what are you going to do when the sessions expire? Because most people, when they hire personal trainers, don't consider what happens once the sessions expire. But like having a personal trainer is really good. While they're in the gym, they're like counting your reps, they're teaching you form. But like once the sessions expire, most people go back to where they're at because they struggle to keep themselves accountable. So then that's where you introduce online training. And you just basically like the next step after in-person training is online, because my goal is that you never need a personal trainer again. But unfortunately, a lot of people struggle with the nutrition habits. They struggle with the accountability. They struggle with doing it on their own. So what we do is we actually teach you how to start doing those habits on your own. We teach you how to be self-sustaining and self-accountable while still holding your hand. That way, at the end of the 6-month or 12-month program, you no longer need to work with a personal trainer because you know exactly how to eat, how to train, how to keep yourself accountable, how to measure progress, etc. So the conversation starts being about what do you do once those sessions expire, and then educating them that having an in-person trainer is good, and then having an online trainer is the bridge between having an in-person trainer and being able to eventually do it on your own.
Solid. And so, since I have like a team already there, they're mainly the people who see like those in-person clients anyway. Should I kind of leave it, I guess, the sales process for them to onboard into me, or should I be the one executing this on that? I guess, how would I go about that?
I would like, if I wanted to transition all of my in-person clients online and I didn't personally have a relationship with them, I would go out of my way to start building that relationship now. And so like the next 30 days, I'd be spending meeting every single person at that gym, because it's going to be really difficult for, number one, your personal trainer to convince this person how to go online when your personal trainer has no idea how it works. So that's the first problem. And the second problem, it's also going to be really difficult for that personal trainer to sell an offer for you, because that means they're not going to need as many sessions with the trainer. So it's like a lose-lose, for the trainer.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
I would spend the time over the next 30 days getting to know every single person at the gym and just shaking hands and saying, thanks for coming to the studio, blah, blah, blah. How's your program been so far? So that at least you have the intro, so that when you go for that, online training offer and you start having those conversations, they'll be a lot more receptive.
Okay. Nice. And then how would I'm also getting like cold leads off, DMs off through social media. Should I prioritize these, I guess, like hotter leads, warmer leads who are already kind of know, trust, and like us a little bit in there with it? Or should I kind of 50-50? How should I approach that for the best strategy?
In terms of like booking calls?
Yeah, like booking calls, like just making these sales.
So you've got people that are reaching out to you, right?
Yeah.
Book them all.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like I'm only going to work with people that I already know, like, and trust. It's like if people are reaching out to you from socials, bro, like book those leads for sure.
Okay. Sounds good. Awesome. That helps a lot, Brian. Thanks.
Cool. Congratulations on all your recent success, bro. I'm super happy for you.
Thanks, brother. I'm happy for the next few months.
Peace. What's up, Max?
Yo, what up, brother?
How you doing, King?
I'm doing fucking fantastic, bro. How are you?
Best day of my life. Tell me some wins.
Some wins. I got 3 calls booked for this week. Had one already. Follow up on Friday. He should be a close for sure. So getting back in momentum. Got a 4-day challenge running, first one, which has been kind of slow. I've been having some issues with that, which I was going to ask in the question, but mindset's fucking back dialed in, trying to get back in a good routine. So we're fucking living.
Love that. How can I serve you, King?
So, God, I feel fucking dumb asking this shit, but my CTA schedule is just like, I just cannot, or no, I want to reframe that. I'm having a hard time figuring it out and I'm working at fixing it. And so it's like the hard CTAs, like any kind of CTAs I do revolving around like fitness, like even the ones where it's like, what's your major focus right now? Like those ones do all right. But then when I start those conversations, I've been testing different ways to open them. Doesn't really lead to a lot of conversations. So it's just like, I'm struggling with like the hard CTAs, or like I did like a patty lift trick last night for my challenge and got literally like 2 people to raise their hand. And one of them's like a bot account. So it's like, I'm just not getting a lot of hands raised. I don't know if it would be better for me to switch to doing just like all soft ones, like just to build more relationships, or like, what are your thoughts on that?
So 2 things. One, when people are only voting on hard CTAs if they're getting enough value from your content to be interested in working with you for coaching. So that's the first thing, is like whenever people aren't engaging with my CTAs enough, it tells me that number one, I've either like exhausted my audience and I've kind of done the same thing over and over again. So I need to switch up the language. Or number 2, I need to focus more energy on my content. And like your content's doing decent right now. Like I'm taking a look at your page, but like, again, like this is like, if you're not getting a lot of people voting on your hard CTAs and you get more voting on your soft CTAs, 100% you should do more soft CTAs. 100%.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. So like for me, bro, like I was doing, like, if you follow Instagram for a long enough period of time, you know that like I usually do direct to DM CTA, because those working really fucking well for me. But then like over time, people just got used to the direct to DM CTA. They stopped being as effective. So now I'm doing a lot more engagement polls. So my rule of thumb with marketing, Max, is whenever something becomes less effective, I change it. So
Okay.
you're not getting a lot of people voting on your hard CTAs, but you're getting more people voting on your soft CTAs, doing the patty lifts trick and getting a bunch of people in your audience to basically raise their hand. And then starting those conversations about fitness is going to be a more effective strategy.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, because I'm definitely going to do the trick again probably tomorrow night to get some more people in my challenge, because I think I only have like 9 people in there and I've sent out a fuckload of DMs compared to other challenges. So it's going to keep plugging on that. And were you going to say something?
I'm just going to go look at your poll. I want to see what it is.
Because I put a question up in the group last night and I can't remember who. I think Caitlin told me to. She was like, just go delete all your shit, put up your best transformations, and then put a.
So yeah, so that was this right here, right?
Yeah, and then all of them before, yeah.
But this isn't a patty lift trick, because the patty lift trick is when you only have one story up.
Well, I guess she didn't say do the patty lift. She just said put up your best transformation. So I figured that was plural. So like that first picture of me, the 5-year one, that one had a ton of interaction on it. But then, yeah, by the time they got to the CTA, there was.
So this one, so you can delete them all again and then be like, want me to teach you how I did this for free? Hell yes. No, I don't. Or like, hell yes. No, you're on steroids. Something like that.
Okay. I'll do that tomorrow night then. I'll let that chill for a little bit and just do some different pictures, because I got another one of me being a fat ass. All right, perfect. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. And then last question is like, so obviously I'm putting a lot of fucking focus on the content and trying to figure that out and not fucking wrapping my content. Do you like, knowing my personality talking to me, like, do you have anyone that like you would think I could like look at a little bit for inspiration, like to try to bring out like my personality a little bit more, like be a little bit more funny? Like, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm like, I'm trying to do the inspo shit and try to figure out like what reels are cooking and like people that I can resonate with. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm spinning the wheels there a little bit.
So there's two people that I think you should look at that I think have like similar energies as you. So first one I look at is V Taper Poppy. This Alex is my VIP client and his content's very fucking good. So I would start looking at V Taper Poppy. His content's really good. It's also most of it's shot with an iPhone, so it's easy to duplicate.
Okay.
And then Anthony, bro, Anthony Anisimov is like, those are the two people that I'd be looking for. Cause like you have the personality to be a jokester, but I just don't think it's coming out because you're almost trying to, you're too smooth talking. You're like a fucking smooth talker. You know, it's like it's your blessing and your curse. I'm also the same way. Like I talk way too fucking much. So like in my content, I try to like fucking deliver one line at a time and then shut the hell up. And then I go focus on the next line. So it would be Anthony, V Taper Poppy, and I would focus on like hammering one line at a time and then moving on to the next line.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do this week. I got a couple more reels to finish up, and yeah, just trying to figure out like how I can interject like jokes and shit. Like that's, I guess, what I'm working on. So
yeah, and listen, this is the struggle that most online coaches go through when they're trying to build their business. Is like, this is why, like, as soon as you figure this out, bro, like this is why it's so hard to figure out, because on the other side of it is like unlimited leads. so of course it's hard
dude,
to
I know
out.
I'm fucking so close, bro.
Of course it's hard to figure out, because if it was easy for everybody to figure out, everybody would have unlimited leads. And so the people that break through the algorithm are the ones that fucking win. So you just got to focus on it until you fucking get it.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm going to fucking crack that damn code, dude, to the fucking moon, baby.
I like that.
All right. Appreciate it, bro.
Okay, talk soon. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Hack 10, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
Best day of my life, brother. Tell me some wins.
So the win is I've been working on an AI DM chatbot, and I figured it out. It's doing very, very well. So yeah, it's crazy. So my question is, so with this DM chatbot, right now we don't have any problem with the booking calls. And so with that, I created a new appointment reminder automation email. And the email context, I told a story integrated with a testimonial. Like, for example, hey, I confirmed that your appointment booked and I want to introduce you something. This is my client. This is what she said. And another email was, I don't know if you've ever been bullied, but I've been this one. I felt alone, and I've been this one and I felt lonely, and I don't want you to have that. That's why I created the community. And at the end of each email, I gave the links to reschedule and cancel. And the reason for that was to reduce the show up rate. And as a result of that, in the last 2 days, I had 10 calls booked, but 3 of them has been canceled and 2 of them has been rescheduled. And I never had that before. Do you think, did I do a right thing to make it very easy to cancel and reschedule?
No, you made it. That's the wrong thing. So I would take that out. And it's like, that would be like me having you guys join the coaching program. Like you join, and then as soon as you join, I'm like, oh, by the way, Hacktown, like if you ever want a refund, just message me. Just message me. This is how you get a refund, by the way. If you ever want the refund, just fucking message me. You don't want to tell them like, hey, by the way, if you want to cancel, fucking cancel. So like what I would do instead is I would have some sort of pre-call video that basically explains exactly what the call is going to be about and what they're going to learn and blah, blah, blah. So that would be the first thing that I would send them once the call's booked. Pre-call video. And then after the pre-call video, you can send the testimonials. But in the pre-call video, you're like, if you need to reschedule or you can't make the appointment, no problem. Just DM me on Instagram and I'll let you know. But that's like the first thing they see. And then you never mention it again. You don't want to make it easy for them to cancel. You want to make it hard for them to cancel.
Okay. Only in the confirmation, I will say DM me, and that's going to make it a little bit hard. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. That's a great info. And so the second one is a little bit different. I'm starting to have a negative relationship with my SOP because of the complaint and the cancellation requests. We have like 110 to 120 clients right now. So they are coming every day. And I can't really share it much with my team and Ajay because I don't want to demotivate everyone and pull everyone down. So how would you go with this SOP issue?
Is it like dealing with the cancellations that's stressing you out? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I don't want to open my inbox. I don't want to go look at the conversations because each time when I look at them, there's a cancellation, there's a pause, there's a refund, there's something.
Yeah. So if you don't want to look at them anymore, it's two things. Number one, it's not like you can stop getting cancellations because that's definitely part of the process. But I completely understand the mentality because looking at cancellations drains the fuck out of my energy too. So I get that. You're like trying so hard to put together a program that everybody can win, and then you're getting cancellation requests. You're like, what the fuck? So at your guys' level with 110 people, you can hire a VA for $4 an hour, and their only job all day, every day is fielding those requests. And then you spend the next 30 days training that VA for $4 an hour, which is $650 a month, $750 a month, whatever. And then all they do all day is field cancellation requests, talk to clients, try to calm them down, try to have conversations with them, try to figure out what's going on. And you train them to do everything you're doing right now. That's the only other alternative. Like, or you do them, which sucks. Like, like it's not fun, but it has to get done. So at your level with 110 people, like it would probably be getting somebody at $4 an hour from Philippines or Mexico, Honduras, whatever, to do it. And then I would just train them how to do it.
Okay. And so because we have a lot of low ticket people, how would you keep them active using the service? They are not invested, they don't pay much, and when they don't use, they cancel. How would you make them use it without investing too much?
Find ways to get people to engage with the program. That's the only way, right? Like people will stay for two reasons. Number one, they're getting results, or number two, they're connected to the program. And they could have one or the other. The ideal is that they get both, but you have to find ways to get them to engage. You have to find ways to gamify it. So in your low ticket program, maybe there's a challenge that you do every single month that's very easy to participate in, AKA the boom challenge, right? The boom challenge that you guys are in right now. You guys are posting booms in the group. I know that's going to be beneficial for the community because I know that when Justin Klein logs into Facebook, he's going to see fucking Ronnie's boom, Johan's boom, Brian's boom, Chato's boom, all of it. It's like, I want the boom challenge because I want my clients to see other clients getting amazing results in the program. It's like you have to find ways to get people to engage with the community. I also think that for retention, and this is for all of you guys, like if you guys want high retention rates, you need to over focus on what happens in the first 4 weeks of your program. As in, how do you get clients to make sure that they engage with the program in the first 4 weeks? Because if you can get them past the first 4 weeks in the program, they are a lot more likely to stay for month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. So like, how do you get them to engage in the program? Making sure that they introduce themselves right away, making sure that you've got a checkpoint to make sure that they've done their first workout. And this can be something that your new VA does. If you get somebody new VA that just checks in on people and they're like an accountability coach, they keep people like, hey, notice you missed your workout, blah, blah, blah. But like, we need to find a system to make sure that we get them engaging in the first 4 weeks. Top priority.
Yeah. Okay. I'll create that SOP for keeping people accountable and motivated and this kind of stuff. So when I create it, I'm going to share inside of the Facebook. Who do you recommend I tag that would benefit me the most feedback wise?
Or for what?
When I create that keeping people motivated system, SOP.
Send me a message on Instagram with it, because that's not something we teach in the 10K Mastermind, and I don't want to confuse the students. But you guys have 110 clients. So I would say pretty soon, like we should be thinking about the $1 Million Mastermind, but send me a message on Instagram with it and I'll take a look at it.
Okay, great. All these information, these answers are amazing. Thank you. Great. Cheers.
I hope you have the best day of your entire life.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Where's Sammy? Is Sammy still here? Did you hear what I just did?
Yes, that was like, but then do this.
That's practice. You got to practice.
How do I practice that? Do I need John to start asking me questions so I can practice being an authority?
You're good. I got you. I wanted to point you out because I'm like, that's how you do it. Politely. You need to do it politely. I'm not like, fuck you. I'm like, no, but that's how you do it. Coach Daniel, what's up?
I'm doing fucking amazing, bro. How are you?
I'm doing better now that I got that energy. What's up?
I'm doing fucking awesome, dude. I have some solid wins. Just sold out of my in-person client event that we're running in August. So super stoked about that. Gonna have a bunch of our clients staying at a dope Airbnb, flying in from like all over North America. So that's fucking gangster. And Janelle planted this little seed in my brain about a mid-ticket program and launching it to like old clients and people that said no on sales calls. And I did that and closed 3 mid-tickets in the past week.
Nice.
So added over like $1,000 of recurring revenue, which is fucking dope from like literally no effort, just doing it all in the DMs. So that's been fucking gangster.
Nice, bro. I love that.
My question for you, sorry, I've kind of heard all fucking over me, but my question for you is, what do you do, or what would you do in a situation where you have a client that's committed, let's say for a year, and then in the middle of that, they come to you, they're seeing good results, they're liking the program, but they're in a place where they're telling you like they pretty much can't fucking afford it for whatever reason, whether like they lost their job or they're just like under a bunch of financial stress. I just had a situation like this and like I handled it in a way that I think was good, but I kind of just want to know what you would do in those situations.
It's all dependent on how the client approaches me, like the energy that they're giving me. You know, it's honestly dependent on the approach. Like if I have a client that messages me that's like, hey, your program sucks and I want to fucking cancel it. Like my energy is going to be significantly different than if I have a client that comes to me like with like super kind, respectful energy and is like, yo, like this specific situation just happened. My dog just died. And like, I'm really like mentally struggling right now, like blah, blah, blah. But first things first is like step number one is offer support always. So regardless of if a client comes at me super hot and is like, fuck you, or if a client comes at me and they're like really compassionate and they have like something serious going on, step number one is I offer support. I find some sort of way to get them some extra support. Whether that's a call with one of my coaches or something, like I'll find a way to make sure that they get the support they need. That's step number one. Step number two is on that support call is where I'm going to work through any obstacles with them. And I'm going to have an honest conversation about what's going on, not just like mentally and physically and emotionally, but also like financially. And if they literally are like, you know, some specific situations that you can't have no control over, like they have a hospital bill and their dad got sick that they have to pay for, like, I'm not going to be like, well, too bad you signed a contract, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, and if they're in the situation like that, where they're like, bro, I love the program and I really want to stay, I just like financially can't commit, then I'll have a conversation with them and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, let's find a way to work something out. Sometimes for a client's like, were you in the mastermind where I fucking comped everybody's free month? Were you there when I did that?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So during fucking the pandemic, when the, you know, world got rocked and everybody thought they were going to lose their business, I paid for everybody's month in the mastermind because I'm like, so like sometimes you can do something like that. You're like, I'll pay for your next month. And, you know, after next month, if things are stabilized for you, awesome. If not, totally cool. I respect it. Like, but I just don't want finances to be the only reason that you don't stay with me. Like I like working with you. And sometimes that's enough for them to be like, holy fuck, I love this guy. I want to stay. But step number one is offer support. And then based on the situation, you know, I'll handle it in a different way. And also based on the client's mood and how they're approaching the situation.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's pretty in line with like what I was doing, where my head was at. What do you do if they are like, I guess more of, let's say like quote unquote an asshole about it? Is that a situation where you kind of like match that energy and you're like, you signed a contract, or is that a situation where you're like, okay, like you're being an asshole about it and like you're okay with letting them go?
I won't say you're being an asshole about it. I will draw a very firm and hard line in the sand. So like I'm very chill until you try to fucking, you know, throw a temper tantrum. Then I'm just going to draw a firm hard line in the sand. I'm going to send you the contract. You sign it. And I'm super polite. You did sign a 12-month commitment. You've got 6 months remaining on your commitment. So would you rather pay that off in full for, you know, $1,600, or do you want to stick on the monthly plan?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, fuck you. Because I like rule number one, everybody write this in the chat box. It's really important. Never leave a paper trail. Write that in the chat box. Never leave a paper trail. I've only done it once or twice and I regretted it instantly, where a client clapped at me super hard and then I clapped back and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So rule number one, I never, ever, ever leave a paper trail. So even if they're coming at me and they say that my beard sucks, I look like shit, and fucking program sucks too, I'm going to be the most polite, respectful person in my response, but I will draw a very firm and clear and hard line in the sand and I will not negotiate.
Cool. Okay. That makes sense. That is super helpful.
Cool.
I appreciate it a lot, bro.
Love you,
good
bro.
to see you and get to chat again.
Good to see you too. And I'm really proud of you. Congratulations on all your recent success.
Thank you, homie. Appreciate that.
Peace. Okay. So just so everyone's aware, you got to raise your hands in the first 30 minutes. So I sent some messages to some clients that didn't get their hands raised in the first 30 minutes. And I'm going to make sure that I answer their questions because I'm not going to leave you fucking hanging. Angelo, not going to leave you hanging. So question, do you get more applications from your Instagram bio, people reaching out, or is the majority of your leads coming through your stories and testimonials? I would say 50% of my leads, Angelo, are coming from my stories and testimonials. And the other 50% are coming from me doing outbounds. And I would say like maybe 5 to 10% come through my applications. But like whenever I get an application coming in, I'm just like, oh, that's like gravy. Like I don't even, you know, my application is just in my bio to capture leads. But I would say most of my conversations come from Instagram story polls that I start and then people send me messages, or conversations that I start with new followers. I would say that's the most thing. Our inbound lead has been super slow, and we're curious if it's our content not converting to customers, or if we're not posting enough story testimonials. What do you think is most important? So if your inbound leads are super slow, 2 things I would focus on, Angelo. Number 1 is delivering high value in a step-by-step format with social proof attached. So like, I'll give you a specific example and then I'll talk about how you can use this with fitness. So we're going to go Instagram, high value in a step-by-step format with social proof attached. So a specific example would be like this. Not to brag or anything, but I'm the best business coach for personal trainers on the planet. And if I had to start my business from scratch and get it to $10,000 a month, here's exactly what I would do. So like for you, Angelo, you could be like, not to brag or anything, but I'm the best fat loss coach on the planet for men that want to lose 50 plus pounds. And if I had to start from scratch and lose 50 pounds in the next 6 months, here's exactly what I would do. So like high value in a step-by-step format, I would be delivering more of those in my reels. I also think that if you're not getting leads from your content, you need to find a way to interject social proof into your content on a more regular and consistent basis. Sometimes you can do it in subtle ways like this.
This mastermind is the best mastermind I've ever been a part of. I paid $25,000.
Blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes you can add, my client Katie made $80,000 in 1 month and Marcus wanted to see the screenshots. So here they are. And sometimes I'll I'll tell a story and I'll be like this.
12 months ago today, this client reached out with 2,000 Instagram followers and making $1,000 a month. And just last week, Trey made $10,000 and he now has 55,000 followers.
Like this is the content that pulls clients. And so this is the type of content that you need to start doing if you want to get people inbounding you, is like storytelling with social proof, interjecting social proof into your content. Like this is really fucking simple, but this got me a lot of leads. Like this, really fucking simple, got me a lot of leads, but high value in a step-by-step format. And I also think that if you're not getting enough leads, bro, it's every fucking day on your stories. The good news about you guys, Vision Twins, is you guys have a big social media following. So like you guys could do social proof like every day and it still wouldn't get exhausting. So that's the majority of the focus. Last thing I'll say is the people that are following you, the people that are engaging with your content, starting 100 conversations a day, because that's where 50% of the sales calls in my calendar are coming from. 50%. Cool. Kettlebell coach, what would you include in your carousel slides for a post that highlights your program and what you do? I think I actually have a fucking document for that. Give me one sec. I might have a document for what exactly to include. I did it for the New Year's Rush Masterclass, and I'm pretty sure I still have the slides. So please hold. New Year's Rush Masterclass. Lead gen for New Year's Rush. I do. So I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys. So this is what you should put if you're going to do a carousel. So this is in the chat. I'll also do a quick little screen share and I'll talk about it. So slide number 1, program name, 16-week transformation program. Slide number 2, I'm looking for 10 committed men who want to lose 20 to 30 pounds. Slide number 3, who's this for? Name 3 specific traits that your avatar has. Slide number 4, who is this not for? Lazy and unmotivated people. People who are not prepared to put in the work. Slide number 5, what's included? The feature of your program. Slide number 6, what are the expected outcomes? Slide number 7, when's the program start date? And for you, you could just be like, if you just don't want to have a program start date, if you just basically want to do a slide carousel about your program, it would be this. So a kettlebell coach, I would drop this in the 10K mastermind chat so that you have this and you can reference to it. Cool. There was another question that came in and I want to make sure I get that. That boy don't miss, bruh. We don't miss. Let's see. If your VA is doing a lot and you're still not getting called, like I would be focusing less on where my leads are coming from, and I'd be focusing more on getting more calls on the calendar. I'm gonna do a follow up to you in 1 sec. I just want to make sure I answer Max's question, and then I want to make sure your question is fully answered before we end this call. So 10K mastermind chat slides for carousel. Cool. Angela, I'm going to circle back to you in 1 sec. Max says, I think I priority overwhelm, getting better at batching content and keeping consistent, but I feel like I need to redo my onboarding. Instead of 4 long videos, I like to create 14 days of drip, 3 to 5 minute videos. I have 22 clients so far. I feel like I'm caught in a cycle between check-ins, trying to DM, book calls, doing calls, but making my systems better to take on more clients. So Max, if you're in a place right now where you're trying to do absolutely everything all at once and you're failing like at this thing, but you have a project in your business that you'd like to prioritize, my recommendation is for the next 48 hours, hammer that fucking project and get it done. So like if you really want to redo your onboarding for the next 48 hours, you're going to slow down on your sales calls. You're going to post whatever content you have. You're going to slow down on your DMs for 2 days so that you can get your project done. Whenever I have a burning project in my brain that absolutely must get done, I fucking put everything else to the side. I do the bare minimum and the other tasks and I get the project done. Because it sounds to me like you really want to do this project, but you're also like trying to keep up with everything else. So I would pause on the other stuff, prioritize the project that you want to complete the project in the next 48 hours, and then you can resume to business as usual without feeling that stress and guilt of having, this project that you want to complete that's not getting done. Does that make sense? Cool. Love that. Angelo, I'll meet you for a sec. What's the concern with the VA? Like what's going on?
So we have our VA doing around like 300 to 400 messages per day. And I was like checking the KPIs and like, okay, he's doing a lot of volume. Like, why isn't the conversations like turning into potential people that want to buy it, or just even jumping on calls or anything? And the just response rate is super low. And I'm like curious.
What's the response rate?
I mean, if I had I don't have the exact number, but I would say it's probably like 10 to not even 20% of people that are responding back like per day.
20% is the goal. So 2 things. 1, you guys should be in the Millionaire Mastermind. 2,
I know.
20. Well, I know then fucking get there because these are the problems that we solve in the Millionaire Mastermind. But 20% is the goal. How do you get to 20%? Change up the opening message. So if the opening message that you're currently sending is not converting, then you need to change up the opening message. So take whatever message you're currently using and then find a way to change it up a little bit. So if it's like, hey, thanks so much for the follow, you hear it from finisher and you're just doing the content, just say, hey, thanks, Angelo, for the follow. Hope you have a great day.
And then so they have my video, because that's what we have them say, hey, are you just following for the content? Kind of like looking for a response. And I've told them other strategies, like go to their page, like a post, share their story back with them. It's still not really working. So just kind of like.
Do you only have one VA?
Yeah.
That's another problem.
Well, dude's a beast. Like
I get it. But also like, bro, do you know how fucking long it takes to send 300 to 400 messages? A fucking long time. So like, how can you expect that person to spend that many messages and also do a good job? So like, how much revenue you guys doing per month now? Is it 15K, 20K?
15 to 20, but like the last 2 months has been like 13. I'm just like, it feels I'm getting antsy now. And I'm like, kind of like.
Yeah. You guys, like, we should fucking talk about the Millionaire Mastermind.
Let's jump on a call if we can.
Okay, let's jump on a call because your team right now does not have the system to grow beyond what you currently have. And like the solution is not always more volume, because if you just do more volume, then, you know, your VA is going to send out more messages. And even if you get your response rate higher, bro, like even if we get your response rate from 10% to 20%, if you only have one person to field all those conversations, we're still going to run into the same issue, which is like, we can't be intentional with those conversations. And like, bro, like I will tell you this for free, like your fucking, where you're at right now, when you solve this problem, you're going to double the amount of sales calls you have in your calendar, double. And when you double the amount of sales calls you have in your calendar over the next 2 to 3 months, your business is going to double in size. So like this is a problem that's like pretty easy to solve, and you're like 2 or 3 months away from a $20,000 to $30,000 month.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Consistently, like we've done those months where we've had 20, and then you know it drops down, and it's like we've been consistent as best as we can with everything, posting and doing all that stuff. But it's just
so for you guys, again, this is advice for all of you guys. Like when you get to a certain level, like you have what 500,000 followers on Instagram, is that what it is?
Us? No, we have like 269
still. So 269,000 followers on Instagram, you guys don't have a lead flow problem. I also know that you guys have lost a fuckload of weight. So you don't have a consistency problem because you've shown that with the way that you show up. So like this isn't a consistency issue. This isn't a leads issue. This is a systems issue. Your systems are not established to be able to build a $20,000 to $30,000 a month business consistently. So like the goal of the 10K mastermind is to learn how to post content, lead gen, sign clients, get to $15,000 a month. And then when you're at that level, and this is like one of the things that Janelle hates when I tell you guys this, but I'll tell you it because it's the truth. Like, when you join the $1 Million Mastermind, it's so that you can build your team. And the reason that you'd want to build your team is so that you can build a scalable business. And a lot of you guys get afraid to build your team bigger than, you know, you currently have right now because you don't want to pay out more people. But the reality of the situation is like, bro, if you had 2 VAs that you were paying $650 a month plus commission, it would end up being $1,000 a month each per VA. And those 2 hires right there have the potential to double your business. So now you're making $30,000 a month and you're paying out $2,000 for 2 VAs. Like that's a game I'll play all day. And then we got to get like a coach to help with all the new clients that we're going to be signing in the background. Like you have to build the system, and then the system starts to build the business.
And that's the thing too, is I've noticed that I hate to take up all the time, but
it's good, I feel like this conversation needs to be had. So this is a good conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the thing is like, we'll bring in people, and I've noticed like we have people's payments like declining after like they're supposed to renew. And it's like, I could tell the systems is a problem, and it's just really fucking hard. Like us too, like we both spend all day in the business, and like we know we can grow it, but sometimes it's like there's so many things that are running that it's hard to like lock in on. Like we'll do 3 times of content a day. Like we fucking spam content. We do a lot of shit, and it's just like sometimes it's, I don't know, overwhelming. But
this is not a content problem. This is a systems problem. Yeah. And like when you guys joined the mastermind, how much money were you making?
When we first started, we just hit like 10, and then a month later, like 15, next month, 20, 25. We almost had 30K months, and like that's what we're trying to grow to consistently. I have it on my phone background, like hitting, like my goal is 100K months, like, and it's like execute. And like, I know we could fucking do it, but I just don't know like what's the problem. So
time to get in a bigger room. If you want that 100K months, it's time to get in a bigger room.
Yeah, ready.
Bet. Okay, send me a message on Instagram. Let's chat.
Cool.
Okay, bro. Much love.
Alrighty.
All right, y'all. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for staying to the call. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Kettlebell King, hopefully answer your question. Fucking everybody here. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being my clients. Thanks for showing up. I hope you guys all have the best day of your entire life. And I will talk to you guys in the next coaching call. Bye-bye for now. Peace out. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at @TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.